Hi, it's Karen, the Weekend Craftaholic. Thanks for joining me. Today I wanted to share my top 10 items from around the house that you can use in your crafting every day. So in no particular order, I'm going to run through my top 10, but I've also got, right at the end, bonus items for anybody out there with a Cricut machine or any electronic dye machine for that matter. First one is a really obvious one, which is kitchen paper towels. I know we all use a lot of these. Now, this one's slightly different. This is a reusable kitchen paper towel. It's made of bamboo. You can wash these. They are recyclable, reusable, they're strong, they're sturdy. So rather than just running through that paper, get yourself some of this instead. It's going to save you money in the long run, help the environment and reduce waste. Now, one thing I'm not going to have on my list, you'll be surprised at, is baby wipes. Do not use baby wipes. Instead, I've got these old terry cloths that I use, and you can see they are a right mess. It's fine. They wash fine. These are just paint remnants. They're still clean, even though they look dirty. So these are generally what I use, and these are just old towels or hand towels that I've cut up and used as little rags. Another one you shouldn't overlook is just plain old cardboard packaging. I always cut these up. Saves me using foam sheets. Doesn't matter, they're not adhesive. You can use your tape runner on these. Use this then if you want to add some dimension to your layouts. One that I'm going to cover off with fridge bins. So a lot of people like to use fridge bins for their storage. They come in great sizes. I love having clear storage because you can actually see what you've got inside of that. The other thing that you'll have in your kitchen potentially is some herb scissors. Now, these cost me $5. I absolutely love them. I don't actually use them in my kitchen. I keep these in my craft room. And I'll just demonstrate with a piece of scrap paper how I use them. It's almost like a fringe effect, I want to say. So you can actually buy craft scissors that do this for you, but I absolutely love the fact that you can create very quickly a nice little fringe effect with some paper in any of your craft layouts. You can see just how quick that was, and yet how uniform it is at the same time. So that gives a nice little effect to any cards or scrapbooking layouts that you may have. And again, a lot cheaper buying ones that are sold by craft companies for this specific purpose. Another thing you may or may not have in your kitchen, something that I've always had, is this smart sealer. It's magnetic, sticks on the fridge, and I use it just to reseal, for example, bags of crisps or chips. But one of the things you can do is also use it in your craft room instead of buying a fuse tool. Definitely a lot cheaper, a lot more affordable. If you do watercolouring, you've probably come across this technique and have heard about it yourself, and that is using salt. Now I'm just going to show you here some techniques that I've done. This is the one with salt. So once you've put your watercolour down, you sprinkle salt on the top, leave it for a little while, and you can see you get this really nice textured effect on your watercolouring. So the other thing you can also use in watercolours is Glad wrap. Now this is also known as cling film, depends where you are, but in Australia it's Glad wrap. And again, all you need to do is simply wet your watercolours, place the Glad wrap down, leave it for a little while, and when you take it away you get a gorgeous textured effect as well. So another thing to keep in your craft room, and this particular piece is just, I don't throw it away. As you can see, it's got a little bit of paint on it, it's fine, it doesn't transfer. So I just use the same one over and over again rather than reusing it. That we can use is a straw. So this is really great for alcohol inks, blowing around the alcohol, giving you a nice little effect for that. So this is something again that you can use, and again I keep the same one over and over in my stash. And another thing in your kitchen is toothpicks. Now, rather than going out and buying an expensive picker, you can use a toothpick. These are just as good for lifting things off. And in fact, anything that you would normally use your little pointer tool for, you can use these. These are super sharp. Works just as well in my opinion. Moving out to the kitchen, another thing we all tend to have in our house is bubble wrap. So I'm a big fan of reusing packaging. Bubble wrap is no exception. And again, I'm just going to show you here just how I use these in my layouts to create a gorgeous textured effect by using something as simple as bubble wrap. And then moving on to the bathroom, we've got a couple of things in here that we can use. First one is eyeshadow. Now you've probably come across this as well. Now when these expire, because you should only keep them for 6 to 12 months depending on the product, you can reuse these almost like pigment powders. So you can put these on a layout, sprinkle them on, spritz some water, and you get a gorgeous effect. If you've got creamy eyeshadows as well, they just act similar to paste. So also think about using some of these in your layouts. The most common one though that we always think of in our bathroom is shaving foam. It's a great effect. It's an oldie but a goodie. There's a reason why a lot of people use it, because it does really great layouts and patterns and designs on your paper. So don't forget about the shaving foam treatment. And then moving on to my bonus items for any electronic die cutting machine users out there or Cricut users. First one is baby powder or talcum powder. I've printed out a design. It's really difficult to see where you need to weed it. You can sprinkle on the baby powder and then you actually get to see the lines that you need to weed out. So it's a lot easier to use with talcum powder. You can see here just how much easier it is to see where you need to weed once you've applied some of the baby powder, and you can just get under there and start to pull that out as well. Now another trick that a lot of crafters use, instead of a scraping tool like this, they will actually go ahead and use an old credit card or gift card. So again, saving you buying a new product. And talking about that, a gift card will also do the same job as like a lift off tool. I use this to clean off my glass mats if there's any glue residue and so on, but absolutely a credit card would work just as well. Another thing that you can use to keep your blade nice and sharp in your machine is just a piece of foil. So I keep this in the top of my Cricut, and then every now and again I'll take the blade out and I'll just stab the blade into the foil, and that acts as a little bit of a sharpener. And again, saving you money because it's prolonging the life of your blade, and it's so easy and handy to have. You just need one piece, you keep it in there. You don't need to replace this, and just stab it a few times and it will keep it nice and sharp for you. And then lastly, for the Cricut ideas, is good old masking tape. So sometimes when your mats are getting a little bit sticky, we can reuse them. We can wash them with dishwashing powder to prolong the life of our mats, which is absolutely great. That's the first step to do. But if you're in a rush and you need to quickly tape down something, or if you're using a Cricut Maker, some of the materials you use, they will recommend you taping down the items anyway. So if you're using things like balsa wood or leather or faux leather, something nice and thick, they'll recommend that you tape it down regardless of how sticky your mat is. So think about something as cheap as this. This was $1 for a unit roll of this, and so this will be a lot more affordable than a custom made product that, for example, I know Cricut sell their own tape.